Imagine a wristwatch that glowed like moonlight. No batteries, no winding, just an endless green shimmer. A century ago, this wasn't science fiction. It was a fashionable miracle, and a silent killer. In 1898, Marie and Pierre Curie isolated a mysterious new element, radium. It emitted a gentle, ghostly light, an otherworldly glow that fascinated scientists and the public alike. Newspapers called it liquid sunshine. It seemed magical, able to shine forever without any fuel, fire, or electricity. By the early 1910s, Swiss and American watchmakers saw an opportunity. If they could mix radium with zinc sulfide paint, they could create glow-in-the-dark watch dials that never faded. Soldiers in the trenches, sailors on night duty, and nurses in dark hospital wards could all tell time at a glance. It was perfect, practical, profitable, and beautiful. Factories sprang up in New Jersey, Illinois, Connecticut, and across Europe. Inside, hundreds and later thousands of young women sat at long wooden tables painting tiny numbers and hands onto watch faces. Their brushes had to be needle-fine to paint the tiny details, so supervisors taught them a quick, efficient trick called lip pointing, rolling the brush between their lips to keep the tip sharp after every few strokes. Each time they did, they swallowed a tiny bit of radium. They didn't know it was dangerous. In fact, they were told it was safe. Some were even told radium was good for them. Advertisements at the time promoted radium toothpaste, radium water tonics, and even radium cosmetics that promised to rejuvenate the skin. It was the age of radioactivity fever. At night, the girls would walk home glowing faintly in the dark. Their hair sparkled, their clothes shimmered. They laughed, painted their nails with the luminous paint, even dotted their teeth for a pearly glow. Locals called them ghost girls. They were proud of their jobs, making something useful for soldiers and earning more than most factory workers of their time. But a few years later, the glow turned sinister. It started with toothaches, then swollen jaws, then bones that cracked without reason. One woman's dentist found her jawbone crumbling in his hands. Another suffered open sores that refused to heal. Their skin turned gray, their breath foul with decay. The mysterious sickness spread among the dial painters. Doctors were puzzled. Some blamed poor hygiene, others hysteria. The companies denied everything. They insisted the girls' illnesses came from syphilis, an attempt to shame them into silence. But the women knew better. They could feel their bodies deteriorating from the inside out. One of them, Grace Fryer, a former painter in New Jersey, refused to be silent. Though bedridden and in constant pain, she gathered evidence and sought lawyers willing to take on the powerful United States Radium Corporation. For years, no one would help. Finally, in 1927, with 4 other women, Edna Hussman, Catherine Schaub, Quinta McDonald, and Albina Larice, she filed a groundbreaking lawsuit. By then, all 5 were dying. Their bones were so fragile that some couldn't even sit up in court. Yet they fought, knowing they might not live to see justice. Their story shocked the world. Headlines called them the living dead. Public outrage grew, and scientists confirmed what the women had suspected. Radium, once inside the body, behaves like calcium, embedding itself in bones and continuously releasing radiation, killing tissue, blood cells, and marrow. In 1928, the women won their case. The settlement was modest, just $10,000 each, but their victory changed history. For the first time, an American company was held responsible for the health of its workers. Their case led directly to new laws on industrial safety, radiation protection, and workers' rights. The tragedy also sparked innovation. By the 1930s, scientists began replacing radium with tritium, a much weaker radioactive isotope of hydrogen that posed far less risk. Watches still glowed, but the danger was dramatically reduced. By the 1970s, chemists developed a revolution in luminescent materials. Strontium aluminate, a completely non-radioactive pigment. It worked by absorbing light and slowly releasing it in the dark, safe, bright, and long-lasting. Today, luminous paint is everywhere, on watches, aircraft controls, emergency exit signs, even railway clocks in India. The glow remains a symbol of precision and progress. But behind that soft green light lies a story written in sacrifice. The radium watch was once the world's brightest idea, literally, but its dark legacy reshaped how industries treat their workers and how science balances wonder with responsibility. So the next time you glance at a glowing dial, remember the Radium Girls, young women who glowed like starlight, who suffered in silence, and whose courage turned tragedy into progress.